Tonight, it's a special event. It's about helping new startups to actually show and tell their stories, their project here on stage to pitch, okay? That's the super hard exercise of pitching. Pitching is about seduction, is about conviction, is about how can I get the people, the audience involved in my product? How can I share my dream so that they believe in it? Okay? And it's really, how to say, a lot of goodwill, meaning that we are not here to invest or not, even if most of the time we invite investors. It's not an investor pitch. It's more a user pitch, user-focused pitch, meaning that we will and they will address the audience, trying to make you feel as if you were a user. Okay, so put yourself in the shoes of the users. So they won't talk about the money within 3 years, but they will talk about here and now what the product does and who we are and why we are doing what we're doing. All right, so if you want to connect, share, and interact, go to the Wi-Fi. It's the family. The password is Lamifacici. There is one hashtag, it's PitchVibe. So if you disagree, please talk about it. The winner of tonight, there will be, yes. So Guacamole, one of the startups of the family, who is actually providing a legal infrastructure, online, flawless, for any startup, they will provide this service to the winner, meaning like, alors putain ça je sais pas comment on l'a fait en français, mais immatriculation. It's not incorporation, thank you Blake. Yes, we have an American in the jury, yes. Woo! And the other one, they will be happy to receive the free access to Coup d'État on Demand, which is the French program online to learn about entrepreneurship. It's more than 90 hours of video, of content made by our partners, Oussama, Nicolas, Jean, about how to start your company, how to raise funds, and how to sell. So tonight, you're going to see on stage 5 startups that we've selected. They are starting, so be cool, be constructive in your feedback, because you will have the time after to give feedback. There are 5. You will meet with them. We have one special guest today in the jury. It's Pia, and she's working at Axel, and she will provide also her view, her vision, and of course she will bring her culture from venture capitalism, which is very nice to have. So thank you, Pia, for being with us tonight. Yes, you can applaud. And now I would just like to welcome for 15 minutes snapshot of concrete information on how to pitch a VC, an American VC, by one of our partners, Blake. It's really sharp, so be on and welcome Blake.
How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Blake Armstrong. I am a partner here at the family. This presentation is one that I gave just a couple of weeks ago in Barcelona, and it was like a 40-minute presentation, and I tried to cut a few of the slides out, and I think I'll cut it down to 15 minutes by just talking really fast for the rest of it. So I hope you'll be able to understand me. So very quickly, I'm going to cover what you should be thinking about before your pitch to the VC and during your pitch to the VC. So what's before your pitch to the VC? Well, it's your deck, it's practicing your pitch, and it's getting intros so that you can talk to the VCs that you want to be talking to, one of whom may be sitting on stage with us right now. So when you prepare your pitch deck, you should be doing a verbal version of your pitch deck and a written version. Why? Because you're not going to be sending your pitch deck by email. When you send your pitch deck by email, obviously you're not going to have the chance to verbally present alongside it. So you want to have a version of your pitch deck that's maybe a little bit more text heavy, that explains some of the figures and the visual things that you're doing in your slides. That can be helpful as you're asking for intros to be sending around to people. But the main version of the deck that we're going to be talking about here is the verbal presented one that you'll be kind of pitching in person to the VC. So a couple of general ideas. Your deck should be having no more than 3 ideas per slide, 10 to 15 slides max, no bullet points. Please try to have a little pity on the poor VCs. They see these slides all day long. If the worst thing that you can do is present to a VC a slide that's super text heavy, and a bad sign in your pitch is if you see the VC kind of squinting across the table trying to read, because if they're not listening to you so that they can read what's on it, then there's no point of you even pitching, right? So make it really visually engaging. Design is super important as you're doing your slides. Here are 9 quick pieces of a presentation of a good pitch deck: opportunity, problem, solution, traction, customer, market, competition, business model, team, use of funds. I said I would talk fast, so I'm doing it. 4 of these that we're going to go into now are traction, customer, market, business model, and use of funds. So these are things that you need to prove during your pitch. There are a variety of ways of doing them. We don't have time to cover all of them now, but you need to show a pattern of fast-growing momentum. You need to prove it using metrics, and you need to show a clear sales process. Next, so from a VC's perspective, when they're looking at you and your startup, what are they trying to assess? They're trying to assess, is there a big market out there of people who really want this product, and are they willing to pay for it, right? So from a VC's perspective, do them a favor and show them, who are the customers that want to buy this product that you're selling, this product or service. Describe some clear use cases around those customers so they can really understand in like a real life scenario term who might actually be buying whatever it is that you're selling. Talk about market segments, adoption rates, priority, and never forget that revenue is the best proof of demand. Users are interesting, but revenue is even better. So. Business model, you need to show consistency in revenue versus cost, show that you are financially literate and that you're level-headed. You can do some examples of how to do this are by talking through your assumptions in your model that you've made. Try to preempt the VC when they say, oh, well, have you thought about this? Or what assumptions do you have in your model? The more that you can preempt the VC so they don't have to say that, the better off that you're going to be and the more smart you'll come across. Use of funds, you need to show why you're raising money, what you're raising money for. 3 good things to be raising money for are 1, to test hypotheses, 2, to increase your growth rate, 3, to increase the profitability through economies of scale, for example. So those are all good stories to tell as you're talking about why you're raising funds. As you're building your deck, just some very kind of kindergarten type advice, but take out a pen and a paper and draw out like 10 or 15 slides by hand. Do like a Twitter-sized message of 140 characters of what the big idea of each one of those slides is going to be, and then expand from there as to how does the narrative arc from one slide to the next all fit together. That's kind of a nice tactical way to go about building your deck, and then afterwards you do it in PowerPoint. Obviously, you should know how to do your pitch like in an elevator pitch. So if you have only 30 seconds or a minute with someone, you want to be able to clearly present your idea, and you should practice this with your friends and family. In terms of other ways of doing pitch practice, I've listed 4 of them here. I'll just go into the first 2 here. So 3 acts in a play, you present what the problem is, you present what your startup is, and you present why your startup is solving that particular problem, kind of a 3-line pitch. The second here, the Jedi mind trick, is opportune, since I think Star Wars is coming out tonight, right? So this is basically one where you try to anticipate what question your pitch will evoke in the VC's mind. So try practicing your pitch in such a way that you'll ask a friend or whoever you're pitching to ask the first question that comes into their mind after you've done your pitch. And you can, if you do this well, you can figure out a way to phrase your pitch in such a way that you can predict what types of questions the person to whom you're pitching will ask you. So this is a powerful method that you guys should try out. Getting intros. How am I doing on time, Alice? Good? Cool. All right, good. Getting intros. So 4 quick steps. You want to identify some targets, analyze your social graph, as in who do I know that could potentially introduce me to a VC. Ask for introductions and pay it forward. So make sure that when you ask for introductions, there's a clear protocol about how to do this. Make sure that you are also providing introductions for other people. Obviously, this doesn't help if you're trying to raise funds like tomorrow, but it's good practice now to start building your network and building up goodwill in your network by any time that anyone asks you for an intro, to go out of your way to make that introduction, follow up with them, ask them how that went. As you do that, you're building the circle of people that you'll be able to ask for favors for later. So connect, cultivate, follow up. Be doing this times 100. That's basically the most important thing on this slide. Try to do this with as many people as possible. In a startup, you're either fundraising or you're not. If you are fundraising, you need to be going at 1,000% and trying to get as many intros as possible. So when you get to the pitch, there are three, here's kind of day of, you're walking to the VC's office. There are three elements here: the opening, the pitch, and the close. So during your opening, the night before, or hopefully the week before, you've done your research already on the VC. You know who they are, you know what their background is, you know where they went to school, you know that if you have some friends in common on LinkedIn, you certainly know who gave you the intro. You want to show up early, transfer trust. This is basically just talk about people that you know in common, people, places, or things that you share, something that will allow them to say, oh, I can place this person and I think I have a reason to trust this person. Those are all good things for an entrepreneur to do when they get in the room. And then script your opening. You don't want the first words that kind of tumble out of your mouth to be just par hasard. You want them to be very well thought through. You want them to be very clear and concise so that the VC immediately in the first couple of minutes can understand who you are and what it is that you're pitching. There we go. During the pitch, as Alice said, pitch with confidence. It's all about having swag and just showing that you really care about what it is that you're doing and that you actually believe in your own idea. And keep in mind that it's not just about the pitch. This isn't a science, it's also an art. The point of the pitch is to open up a level of trust and around a conversation around your idea. And the goal really of any good pitch is to have a conversation with the VC at the end of it that's a little bit less formal, you might say. So during the closing, this is obviously very abridged, but just make the ask and be silent. The worst thing that you can do is kind of keep talking nervously as you've said, oh, well, we're raising $1 million and we think we can do this with it and this and this and this. Just say, hey, would you like to participate? This is how much we're raising. Would you like to participate? Done. Let them fill in the blank. The worst thing you can do is kind of keep rattling on at that point. Okay, so this, I hope this doesn't come across as pejorative because I am actually French as well, right? So these are just a few points about Americans in general. So answer emails immediately, especially in Silicon Valley. People are really quick on their emails, and if you take a day, 2 days, 3 days to answer emails, that can be badly interpreted. Definitely be on time, actually be early to any meeting, certainly with a VC. You do not want to be even 30 seconds late. That's not a good thing. Email intro, how to. So there are two ways of doing intros. If someone asks you for an introduction, you can either put that person in CC as you send the email, or you can first ask the person, like if Alice wants me to introduce her to Pia, then I can ask Alice to write me an email that I then forward to Pia. Those are the only two ways to do introductions. Do not, and I've seen a lot of people in France and England do this, say, oh, well, you can just contact that person and say that I introduced you. That's not an introduction. That's not going to win you any goodwill with anybody. Definitely say thank you. If someone introduces you to a VC, say thank you right away, and then after your meeting with the VC, it's your responsibility to go back to that person and say, hey, just wanted to thank you again, just had my meeting, went really well. That's kind of closing the loop on that. Posture and handshake, this is kind of etiquette 101, but firm handshake, that means a lot in American culture. Be sure to smile during your presentation. It may not be Silicon Valley, or it may not be Hollywood, but we're still in the same state, I guess, in Silicon Valley, so we like smiles. And then no smoking. Try not to show up like smelling like smoke. Californians are kind of crazy about the whole smoking thing, so just avoid that whole subject if you can. So that's my 30-minute presentation in 7 minutes, and let's hear some pitches.
Actually, you took 10 minutes. Huh? Just before starting, I wanted Pia to introduce herself and tell us what does she do at Axel.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Pia. I work for Axel Partners in London. So Axel is an American VC based in the Silicon Valley, but which has offices also in London, from which we cover Europe, and also in Bangalore, in India. So we're one of the big VCs which really have a global presence and are looking to work with entrepreneurs with a global ambition. So writing tickets between $1 million to $100 million. I personally work very closely on the French market. I'm half French. And I'm very interested in SaaS, marketplaces, but also digital brands.
Thank you. All right. And now just take 30 seconds to talk to your neighbor and say who you are and why you're here. All right. Okay. So they all follow the same rules. They have 5 minutes to pitch their product on stage. All right? And you will have to raise your hand and to applaud and to encourage them. So please give a lot of love to Boutwik.
Hey. So I'm really pleased to be here, so thank you for that. I'm Corentin. I'm the kind of guy who wants to accomplish big things, and I'm really happy to introduce you Boutwik. Boutwik is like Shopify for marketplaces. On Boutwik, everybody can create, for example, the perfect shop for hipsters, or the next Airbnb for something, and we make it super easy. For example, here, who has already created a marketplace or is being to create a marketplace? Please raise your hand. Okay, cool. Something like 10%. It's cool. So, you will agree with me if I say that creating a marketplace is super expensive. It takes a lot of time, you need a great technical team, and the consequence of that is to succeed, you need to be a top-level entrepreneur with a great technical team. The other consequence of that is you need to be on a huge market and you need VC fundings to succeed. The problem is most projects are not this kind of project. At Boutwik, our goal is to provide marketplace technology to the 99% marketplaces projects that won't be an Airbnb and that won't get probably VC fundings. So let's show you a demo. You're here, you're a guy who is a rider, you want to create the perfect marketplace for riders, the perfect shop for them, and you don't know what is HTML. You have no fundings, and on Boutwik, that's not a problem, because you just click on some buttons, you upload some pictures, you talk to some partners, some brands you want to see on your marketplace, and this is it. You have your marketplace. You still paid zero, and you can show that to your consumers that will be able to purchase some products, these products that will be shipped by your partners, the brands you are working with, and you just take some commissions on it. This is also how we get money too, because we share these commissions. So here, this specific marketplace is created by a media that is talking to riders. They know what their audience like, that they absolutely don't know anything about coding or about e-commerce. We have these skills for them. The point is that thanks to Boutwik, anybody can create a marketplace. It can be you as an individual, it can be bloggers, it can be brands to create a large environment. So it's super easy. I'm very happy to introduce my co-founder Max, just here. there's no really word to say how we work well together. We are both passionate hard workers with a big vision, and we believe in a team with highly focused and highly skilled individuals. And we very recently recruited a CTO and a CMO, and we are very happy of that. Our vision is that in 30 years, thanks to marketplace technology, the whole world e-commerce market will be divided into billions and billions of super niche markets. And by providing this technology to the world, Boutwik will catch some commissions on an absolutely huge amount of transactions. And we estimate our market to tens of billions of dollars. Thank you.
So, thank you for your pitch. What problem would you say you're trying to solve?
Boutwik solves?
Yep.
The problem of a guy who wants to create, who have a specific idea of marketplace. He needs a marketplace technology to launch his products, to show that to his consumers. And here the problem is that most entrepreneurs need a lot of time and a lot of work and fundings to get this product today.
So if I'm understanding you right, it sounds like the assumption that you're making is that this is a technology problem. The reason that we don't see more marketplaces, more successful marketplaces in the world today is because there's a technology barrier, and the technology barrier is too expensive, right?
This is actually a part of the problem. I think it's the first problem the entrepreneur is in front of, because to talk to your market, I think you need a product, because it's not just word. You need to show a product and show how people use it, and then you can iterate and change your product, change your business model, change your value proposition. But I think the product problem for marketplaces is just huge today.
Okay, thank you for your pitch. I want to add something. So first, it was. I won't judge you for your accent, because I share this with you. But you have a super French accent. Maybe it's cute, but you can try to rehearse. I'm rehearsing. I mean, we are in the same boat. It's okay. But I was really connecting with you at that point, feeling that we share this in common. So, just a few things about the way you present. I mean, he asked this question because it's not obvious the difference between a marketplace and Shopify. Are you the intermediaries of the intermediaries? What is a marketplace? What is? Did anyone here understand? I mean, can anyone here explain the difference between a marketplace and Shopify? It's not an m-commerce. You know what it is. You know, it's something subtle, and you need to have a pitch that explains the pain that today exists on this specificities. What does it mean? Actually, it's like you are going to help the people who want to sell through your brand, which is the brand of the marketplace. I mean, their brand, their own brands, their own brand. Let's say, for instance, let's use this example of Carnet de Mode in France. She gathers every little creator, and they can create their own brand, and they can create their own, boutique on this platform, because the brand Carnet de Mode is renowned and famous for gathering this type of people, okay? So it's not easy to understand. It's like RAD in France. You know RAD? They are on Facebook, really doing a lot of advertising. You must have seen them. So RAD, they also have a special style and flavor in terms of selection of their creators. So explain us more what it is, a marketplace, and the difference between Shopify, which is a boutique, a direct, which with a marketplace. A marketplace will be the Etsy. Etsy, for instance, is a marketplace, and there is a strong brand because Etsy is recognized for being the selectors. So all your pitch must start with this problem, which is not obvious. You know, we had some trouble and to understand this. Do you agree with this?
Yeah. Okay. I understand. Yeah.
You get it. Otherwise, you totally appear as a solid team. I mean, who want to trust this guy? Be honest. Huh? Who trusts this guy? It's not so obvious. Okay. Yes, I would say it's more than more than 50%. So, but it's really like you explain all the way. I mean, I repeat again every time you pitch, even if it's a B2C or I don't know how to. There will be businesses, but you can address. I mean, anyone would see themselves using this, maybe. You see what I mean? Here. So we need to be emotionally involved in your story. So if you talk to me about marketplaces, this is the bad word to talk about build a brand, selecting like a collective. Everybody knows what is a collective, you know, and it's closer than a marketplace. Marketplace is
the abstract thing.
Exactly. Okay. Second thing, you seems to be the when you explain your target, your niche, and everything, you say not everybody will be Airbnb. Yes, but the way you explain is like I am the builder of marketplaces for loser. It's the way I felt it. Like no one wants to be on the marketplace for loser. But it's just a storytell things. It's something you can like quickly change. You just need to say, hey, tomorrow everybody will be freelancers. Everybody will have their own marketplaces. And it's just another way to see the life. Huh? But turn it like that. And that's it for me. Otherwise, I want to see, I want to know more about your technological background of the team. I want to know how it works. I wish I could have seen like a kind of video to see 1, 2, 3, boom, wow, it's amazing. I can do it. I want to do it. Oh, I have a friend who is doing a marketplace. Actually, I should send him this. You know what I mean? So make us feel the product vision, because it's all about the product here. So yeah.
I know I'm supposed to react as a user, but I'm going to react a bit as an investor. So I read the same thing. Sorry. That it made me feel that you were building the marketplace for losers, and then I thought, if it's a marketplace for losers, then it's people who are not going to make money. So if they don't make money, how are they going to pay for your marketplace? So how are you going to make money? So that was my first question. And maybe you have an answer for that.
Actually, it's not for Airbnb. It's just that I think the guys at Airbnb are just warriors to succeed building Airbnb, because building their product while talking to people to rent their flat and people to rent a flat, it's a lot of things in the same time, and it's super hard. And just by doing the product thing, we make it super easy, and Boutwik is for Airbnb.
Okay. And the second question is more in the link to the product market fit. So I understand that there's a big opportunity for marketplace. Same as an investor in my previous fund, we invested in Miracle. I don't know if you know Miracle. Yeah. So technology to help big retailers build their own marketplace, so their clients would be typically more Galeries Lafayette or companies like this. So this I understand, but then on the lower side, I don't feel that I'm a user myself, so it's not the reason why I don't understand it. The reason I don't understand it is because I don't have a concrete example of someone, like a use case of someone who's used it. You didn't mention that anyone had actually built a marketplace using it. You didn't give any example. So yeah, it's like just a story.
An example, concrete.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, tell us your story.
Yeah. Actually,
Hello everybody. I had a marketplace. Yeah, it's working. I had a marketplace project 3 years ago. I used to work in banking and private equity fund, so I didn't know anything about marketplaces and about technology and CSS, HTML, nothing. And I wanted to create something that connects people who want to share their outdoor experiences in Paris and people who get bored in Paris and want to just enjoy their life. So I do a lot of extreme sport like surfing, wakeboarding, this kind of thing. And people in Paris, they don't know that they can do those things just by taking the metro. And I wanted to connect those people that know where those things are to those people that don't know what to do during weekends. So I had that project 3 years ago. I quit my job. I started working on it, and I couldn't do nothing. I didn't know anything about technical thing, about the entrepreneurship. And I met with Corentin about his project. At the beginning, he was working on Boutwik on his own, and I met with Corentin, and it did happen. You know, that guy, he could help me realize my project. And this is what we are doing.
Yes, but if I had met you at that time, at the Family, I would have told you, start with a Facebook page. Gather your community on this Facebook page. Maybe it can be a Facebook group, and you connect the people in this. Like if you see, for instance, that's exactly the tricky thing about your pitch, is that do we agree with the start? I don't know, but this doesn't prove me anything. This doesn't convince me at all. It's not because you had a problem that it has a good solution. Maybe your problem could have had another solution, which is like typically every entrepreneurs come to see us and start saying, I need to build this big website, but it's complicated. They help me to find a CTO, blah, 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 blah. Man, the value of what you're telling me and what you're pitching me is not about the technology. It's about the community, your experience, the people that you know, that you can connect, that nobody else can connect actually. And Facebook is here for that. And you can start, you know, the group Wanted, for instance, on Facebook, the Facebook page. Okay, look at how big it is and how the community is active on it. And from there, then you start maybe to see if you can build something stronger and bigger. But starting a marketplace for very beginner, it's a hard way to start because that's always start with the community.
I'm not totally agree with that because, for example, for Ride in Paris. The point is to connect people who like this kind of lifestyle to activities.
No, but let's not pitch the startup of another guy another time. Right now we're talking about this. No, but I mean, we were gonna go. I don't know. Right or left, or maybe you're right, maybe we don't know. So the thing is that this is a product, it's a proposal. Let's share it to anyone. Let's see how many people are actually going to use it, and it's really in the end of the people. So actually, what could be interesting is to see now. So did you release it? What are the customer feedback, and what do they do with it?
Yeah, we launched it, and yes, we have a good graph.
So tell us about
people
this.
Are actually, we didn't start communication, and we have more and more people that call us every day. And
when did you release it?
It's online since January. Yeah, in the current version.
January 2018, okay, and you release it for the pricing is for free.
It's for free, and we take
on commission.
Part of the commission.
Okay,
yeah.
And how many creation?
Currently 300, and there are two marketplaces that are working well with transactions quite every day. So yeah.
Okay, and no advertising, no nothing.
Nothing.
And out of the 300, how many are active? Not maybe successful, but active?
It's 15 for now. there are a lot of people we are in contact with, and it depends on their own timetable.
Okay. So what are your goals right now in the next 3 months? Where do you push the focus?
On the communication now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you need to release it and to make it famous for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you want to do it?
Actually, we want to. We found out. We went through an iteration process. We went to see specialized media, individuals, a lot of different actors, and actually, it's working really well with entrepreneurs.
Ouais.
So we found it out 1 or 2 months ago. And the creation, the number of Boutwik of marketplace created on the platform increased drastically since that moment. So we're gonna focus the communication on entrepreneurs, and we're gonna.
And can you explain us how do you target the people who are actually the collectives, the famous? Do we agree that it's not a one to crowd directly, but it's a creator to creator to the crowd?
I don't get it.
Can you explain us actually the concept of the marketplace and how do you target the people who want to do marketplace and not only boutique, online boutique, otherwise it would be Shopify, see what I mean?
Yeah, so first the difference between a shop and a marketplace, and then how do we target them? The difference between a shop and a marketplace is that when you do pure e-commerce, you sell your own products. When you create a marketplace, you sell others' products. So you can actually create an e-shop, an online boutique, selling other brands' products. So you don't need to have the products, you have no inventories, you have nothing. You just focus on the communication and the marketing and just sell other people's products. That's the thing. Or services. It could be services. And so you've got B2C, it could be B2B, it could be peer-to-peer, for example. Se Loger is a marketplace, and it's the content is created by the community. Airbnb is a peer-to-peer platform too.
I actually think it's a pretty interesting idea. Like Alice is saying, when we have startups that come to us at the family, the first thing we do is tell them to create a Facebook group. But if your platform exists and it doesn't cost startups anything, you're taking a percentage cut of anything that's sold on there, you're going to have a really high failure rate. But any startups that stick around and end up doing well, yeah, it'd be interesting to keep watching your metrics. So
the thing is that when you start creating a market, like a business-related marketplace, what you need to do first is the offer. Well, you need an offer. You need to show something to your consumer, potential consumer. And if you don't have a product, actually, and that's why Corentin disagreed with you, if you don't have a product, you're gonna talk to some brands, to some distributors, you're gonna say, oh, I'm launching a marketplace, okay, show me the product. I don't have any. And okay, come back, show me the marketing and the communication strategy, show me the product, and maybe I'm gonna put my product on the platform. But you need a product before. Otherwise, you can't do anything. So that cannot be done through a Facebook group. I don't think so.
It doesn't start from nowhere in terms of client. You have a community of followers. Maybe for instance, for fashion blogger, I see it as a very useful, because from their fashion blog, they will go directly to you. I see it clearly as a target that could go from their blog to your thing, but they already have an audience. That's what I mean. And with your example, it's not for me, it's not the good example. That's why because you lived a problem, and I don't think that the people you should target, people like you.
That's interesting, because we have bloggers and YouTubers creating marketplace on the platform.
Yes, because they have an audience.
Like cosmetic.
Exactly.
YouTubers.
Voilà, super. Okay, cool. So, thank you for your pitch. Another thing, we always pitch alone. Oh, I love you guys, but it's something important to know. You always pitch alone when you pitch, okay? You always pitch. It's okay. It was the question and answer. And another thing, so that's cool that you're here, because actually if you're here, I guess it's because you want it to be used, and you want it to be, you want the people to give feedback. So please, guys, girls, be cool, share it, talk about it to your friends, and tweet it, and test it for yourself. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Epiderm. On applaudit Epiderm. Woo!
Hello, my name is Antoine. I'm the co-founder of Epiderm. We're going to talk about dermatology. Sorry for that. So, yes, that's dermatology. But that's the pain I want to talk about. Here you see a picture of Juliette. Juliette, she is 6 months old, and she has an eczema. And every night when she tries to sleep, she cries a lot because it scraps, the eczema scraps her a lot. And her parents don't know what to do right now for their baby. Another story is Anne. She has 42 years old, and she lives in Rennes, and she has a mole on her face. And months ago, she discovered that this mole has the color has changed and is getting dry. And she is a little bit anxious about the mole. And she decided to call her dermatologist. So she called the dermatologist, and the dermatologist say, okay, let's see you in April next year. Okay, so what can I do with that? I am anxious. Why this situation, and what's the common point between those two stories? Is that it's very difficult here now in France to have easy access to cares, especially in dermatology. Il manque un slide, okay. Because to have a dermatologist in France, it can take you 55 days to book an appointment. I know that in Paris it's different, but in the most part of France, it could be 6 months or more. Is the situation going to be better? Right now we have 3,300 dermatologists in France, and in 5 years it's going to decrease, and we're going to have 2,000 dermatologists. So it's not going to be better. And is it a worldwide problem? Yes. Actually, in Canada, it can take you 1 year to see a dermatologist. And I will tell you about Mali in Africa. There is 16 million people living there. And do you know how many dermatologists there? There's only 4 dermatologists for 16 million people. So with our team, we decided to create a product that can provide immediate access to a dermatologist online with an application. You can have access to a dermatologist anytime you need it and anywhere you are. How does it work? It's very simple, okay? There's something on the slide, okay, no problem. You just have to take pictures of your skin with your smartphone. The pictures are okay. And you describe few symptoms, and directly you will be connected to a dermatologist. The relation with the dermatologist, it's like WhatsApp. It's texting message. And it will be for 7 days. So you can ask your dermatologist for 7 days for your pathologies. And it will cost you less than 15 euros. So the dermatologist can give you advices and, most important, an opinion about what you have. Do you remember Juliette and Anne? Juliette and Anne were the 2 first customers of Epiderm. With Juliette, we helped their parents with the disease of their daughter. And every night during 7 days, her daddy was talking to the dermatologist. It's not also about treatment. It's just about talking with someone, talking with an expert, and talking with someone who cares about what the situation is. And for Anne, so she was anxious because her rendezvous, her meeting, an appointment with the dermatologist was in April. And we helped her as we identified that the mole was suspicious, very suspicious. It could be a melanoma. So we decided to book for her an appointment with a dermatologist, because as we are expert in dermatology, we can ask our dermatologist colleague to treat this patient first. Okay, so those are our metrics. We launched 1 month ago, only on iOS platform, and we have less than 800 apps installed and 33 paid users already. And we know that's small metrics, but that's metrics. I just want to talk about distribution, but because it's the most important thing we are looking at, it's traction. So we are actually build a lot of content for our SEOs about skin disease, about skin problems. We're gonna move on February to US because we have a lot of competitors there, and the market is I don't know, it's easier, but people are very used to use that kind of product more than in France. And because the pain is even worse in the US because dermatologists cost around €200. I will just talk about quickly Dermscope because we are working on it. Actually, this product costs €600. It gives the possibility to have a microscopic view of the mole. And we are working on this. So I took the picture today. And with this, we want to make a prototype on this to make pictures, microscopic pictures for $40. It will be available on Q1. So this is a macro view of a mole and a micro view. That's the most important view because with this we can build algorithm, and that's the reason we are working on, because we want to improve healthcare and access to cares. And we believe that if people want more, they want more medicine. They don't want more doctors. They just want more medicine, and they want a different user experience when they talk to a doctor. Thank you.
Thank you. Bravo. Thanks for the pitch. You're a physician?
No.
No. But in your team, no doctor, no one?
Yes, our president is a dermatologist.
Okay. And where do you come from?
Rennes.
No, I mean in terms of background.
In terms of background, I have a baccalaureate, and I made a lot of party during my studies, so I didn't have just my baccalaureate. And then I create not a startup, but a construction company in Rennes. Then in Bulgaria when I was 25. So
and how did you get involved in this project?
I don't know. I was looking for to buy a company when I quit my last job. That was in private equity, so I had money and I wanted to buy a company, service company, classical company, and I discovered the digital environment. I know it was passionate. It fascinated me. So I decided to do something on the telemedicine. And Epiderm first was a telemedicine project, and we worked on all the specialties of medicine. So people has access to family doctors, neurochirurgians, gynecologists, etc., etc. And we understand that the skin was a good vertical for telemedicine. So that's why we just only focus on that vertical.
Can you tell us just a few things about your team?
The team, okay. So the team, we have CTO, Michael. We are based in Rennes. We hire a UX designer because it's very important, and also for traction, it's very important. We have a dermatologist. We have 3 dermatologists working on the platform right now, and in January we will be 8 working on the project.
Okay, and so the vision is to gather enough database and data through pictures and providing more tools to the people to get these pictures more precise and bigger.
Yes, yes, but the bigger vision is to improve cares in any ways. And the most important thing I told you is that people want to talk with someone, and we are actually working. I know that you are using Julie Desk. We are
just for you to know, Julie Desk is Artificial intelligence. Actually, it's artificial intelligence. It's the assistant. It's an email, and you can add her in CC, and you say, "Julie, book me a meeting with this person," and she will book it because she's connected with my Google Calendar.
And so in the process, texting process, we just send message to the people, just how are you? And just this question is very important. You don't have this kind of relation with your doctors right now.
Lol. It's a robot. Okay. No, I get it. It's cool. It's cool. Okay, okay. You replace the lack of care by a robot.
So first of all, I love that you started with a story. I thought that was great. It was immediately engaging, and it immediately showed us kind of what your technology can be used for. I thought you did a nice job of defining the problem. I thought you could have gone a step further in that direction and just saying really concisely, you're decreasing the time from diagnosis to treatment. Just in 4 words, kind of clearly defines what you're working on. And you also did a nice job on the market size. Which flips me over into a few suggestions that I have as well. So you didn't talk about market size and then subtract out smartphone penetration, because obviously you need a smartphone to be able to do this, which you talk about Mali, and that's the first thing that pops in my head is, well, how many smartphones are there in Mali?
There is a lot of smartphone in Mali.
Cool.
People are very used to be paid with smartphone. They use a lot mobile money.
Oh, so
I
actually don't care how many smartphones there are in Mali. I'm just saying you should put it in your presentation, probably. Although that's great that there are smartphones in Mali. And then in terms of process, I didn't fully understand how process works. So you take a picture. You have you're texting, you have this WhatsApp experience, and then the whole point of this is that doctor can't prescribe you anything. They can't prescribe a medication. They put you in touch with another doctor who can give you a prescription?
No. So actually, en fait, so you take 2 pictures of your skin, you describe the symptoms, and you will have a conversation with the dermatologist. So he can give you advices about if you have already a treatment, about how to enhance your treatment or the way you are taking it, and the dermatologist can prescribe free medicine for free.
But you just start with this, explaining that I don't know X% of every meeting with a dermatologist doesn't end with a prescription. And that's the thing.
Yes, 75% of the people right now from the 33 paid users, they don't need prescription. They just need to talk with someone and to have advices. So that's the point. But that's also why we want to move to other countries, because we know that we will be able in next years to prescribe directly. It already exists in the US.
Okay, so actually the problem that you're working on is not decreasing the time from diagnosis to treatment. Well, kind of, but it's decreasing the time from concern to diagnosis.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the name in France of this platform that makes you paranoid? Doctissimo, thank you. Okay, that's the alternative of Doctissimo. No. Doctissimo is crap in a way because you get freak out and like, okay, I'm gonna die tomorrow. But
yes,
WebMD.
Actually, the picture of Juliette is not the picture we have on the platform, because all the pictures are anonymous. We don't know the identity of the people. That's a picture I took on Magic Maman, because it's a forum about mom talking about their problem, etc. And those moms don't know what to do, but it's amazing. They talk a lot about pain, about medical pain, because they don't have access. They don't know how to talk with. So that's it.
So I agree with what has been said. Maybe so. I really liked the beginning. Actually, yes, with the story and the picture. Just maybe I thought it was a bit too long. Into 2 or 3 minutes before we got into the product and understood what you do. And I think so. Maybe you could have spent like 30 seconds on the first. On the problem, and then more time explaining the product and getting to the end of the pitch. Then I mean we at AXA we invested in Doctolib, so it's definitely a kind of a topic that we're very interested in and believe in telemedicine and have some questions on whether it makes sense to just tackle one vertical first and then do the rest of it. There's also the question of the legislation, of how you tackle the different countries and things like that. But I guess at the stage where you are at, you're doing what you should do, which is test the product market fit. And
yes,
do it
we
one step
care
after
about
another.
legislation, but they are, the legislation is too slow for us.
Yes.
So.
Just in terms of storytelling, starting with a baby with his with the pain on the back, it's really like taking us like in the heart, but in the bad side. Like
maybe.
c'est pathos.
Yes.
You see what I mean? It's like it's hard, and whereas we all have some little thing like big pimples, we can have sometimes between the two. You have comment tu t'appelles ça le champignon là?
Mycose.
Mycose. This kind of stuff that are really like not sexy but funny. I mean, it's better for a pitch. Because
but I had testicles, balls, but I don't know. If
no,
you
but
want,
you can make
it
fun
could be
because
more funny.
when you talk about skin, you can even talk about this topic. I mean, maybe it's another topic, but Kim Kardashian kind of skin. I mean, it's crazy. Like every girl wants to look like the skin of Kim Kardashian. It's fake, of course, but we don't. I mean, there are tons of ways to.
No, but Britney Spears, she had a very poor skin, for example.
For instance.
She has acne.
Exactly. Okay, who wants to test the product? Obviously, be honest. That's cool.
Yeah, great.
Who wants to pay for the product? 14 euros a month. It's better than 80 euros a seance at the dermatologist. Ah, good. That's good. Okay, so they can pay now. You can do a reduction for the people?
Yes, we can do a reduction. Yes, you can just...
What's the code?
No, it's not what's the code. It's hello@epiderm.co and we will give you...
hello@epiderm.co and you will get a reduction.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're actually staying on healthcare. So my name is Julie Mercier, and I am co-founder at EveryVR. At EveryVR, we believe that virtual reality will revolutionize the medical education. Okay, hope, or maybe none of you will use our product, but I really hope that your surgeon, if you they have surgery, will have used it. I'll explain you why. Okay, we took some numbers from the US because they have a really good study there. Medical mistakes, and most of them are surgical mistakes, actually, are killing a lot of patients. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth. That's the third leading cause of death in the US, after cancer and heart attack. So, here is the way surgery and surgery training was made in 1632. It's a famous painting from Rembrandt. And actually, if I take a picture of training for surgery nowadays, it will be quite the same. Yeah, 400 years. So if you're a surgeon, you have 2 ways of training, let's say 3 ways. You can train on corpse, which is very expensive, 1,000 euros per corpse. And not really effective because actually the corpse that you're using don't have the clinical pathology you're supposed to do the surgery for, so not really effective. And second is mentoring. That is a surgeon, an active surgeon that is actually training you and showing you how to perform the surgery. Problem is, you're watching it, you're not performing it at all. So here we are, we came up with a solution. You're using virtual reality to train, so you're training in virtual environment, which is completely safe, in a virtual world, on a virtual patient, and it's immersive, interactive, efficient, and available everywhere in the world, which is a huge point for us because there are countries where you cannot do mentoring because there are not enough surgeons to help to train you. So here is a small teaser on what we're doing. Sorry for that. No, c'est bon, c'est pas grave. So what we're doing, we're actually taking rush of surgery. We have more than 250 hours of all kind of surgery. We have more than 10 types of surgery models in VR because we can do orthopedics, we can do facial reconstructions, of that kind of stuff. And we're developing it with a leading surgeon in the field. We are working a lot with the European Hospital Georges Pompidou. Here is the competitive landscape, let's say. There are 3 types of training. The training for students, which is actually a big issue. They can train on corpse, they can train on mannequin, and you have all the people that are doing that actually. And we're aiming also at using it for recurrent training. Because yes, surgeons are training all the lifelong, which is normal because things are evolving a lot in that kind of surgery and technology. And preoperative training, that's normal to use that kind of technology to prepare actually a surgery. Okay, here I just put some testimonials of the surgeon we're working with. We have some beta testers actually, and they have said very interesting things, that they share techniques between surgeons, that it's actually it's a better overall outcome for the patient, which is actually what we're trying to do. We are trying to save lives, guys, actually. And here is my team. They are so brilliant, so I'm happy to introduce them. We have a CTO which is doing all the coding and all the technical stuff that I'm not really good to talk about it. And we have someone that is studying medicine that is helping us to actually bridge the technical world and the medical world, because it's very important to work with a surgeon in that field. And I am doing the business and the partnership. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, so who likes the pitch? Yeah, it's obvious. So when you talk about life and you can see that passion is aligned, basically you believe in what you do. It was pleasant. Just a thing, like now you're pitching at Pitch Don't Kill My Vibe. What do you expect from this crowd? What are your steps? What do you want them to share? Where are you?
Okay. First, I came here because we did differential medicine, and we have a lot of good feedback.
Differential medicine is a 2-day conference on digital disruption. Disruption in healthcare that we hold at the family with people from everywhere around the world disrupting healthcare.
And actually, we're meeting quite soon investors because we
Okay, so
really
you need to rehearse.
yeah.
Okay.
We really need money to develop that. We have a great team, and we have a really good idea of what's the end game.
What's the end game?
To be first on training surgeons all around the world.
Okay, and okay, cool, great. So you need money for that because I guess you need to work on the product.
And the development is kind of costly, even though we are using. Well, it was difficult to put it right, but we have two kind of technologies. We are shooting videos, and we are creating a video platform that you can watch in an Oculus Rift, and that will be soon, I hope, and that's what we need money for, to develop it to be accessible, available on smartphones. That is a video platform that is coming very soon, like for very beginning of 2016. And we are working in the simulator that we show as a prototype footage, and it's gonna take longer because it's very, we don't have, we have a lack of actually device. For the moment that the VR device are not quite precise enough. So we are producing the content, hoping, because it's gonna come very, very fast, hoping that the device for hand tracking, and
it has to be super precise.
Yeah, but every single week on Kickstarter, you show devices for hand tracking and everything, so it's coming fast.
It's gonna go. Just one question that popped up into my mind when you started is like, okay, we need to train to be precise because the corpse is not okay. Mentoring or this was clear, but the thing that, like I hope that within 10 years, surgery will be made by machine.
Well,
and not by human.
Yeah, but we still have 10 years. And if
to
we're
go.
living 10 years, it's fine.
Yeah.
But actually, at differential medicine, we met someone that is doing interventional radiology. So they're using X-ray to fix, it's mini-invasive technology to fix you without touching you. And they say, like, we have no way to train. We cannot train on corpse because tissues are not the same and everything. So help us, please. So we really think that we can do the 10 years anyway. And
no, but it's not, that's why I said.
We'll go on with the technology.
Okay. And just the last thing, who are you? Where do you come from? What brings you to this project?
Okay. I didn't say that with my team. Actually, I met Antoine, which is studying medicine now, but I met him in Grenoble. I was studying political science, and he was studying engineering. And it was 10 years ago now, and we kept in touch. And I met Miguel like 5 years ago now. He was doing a PhD in applied mathematics. And 1 year ago, I was working in a small company, 3D company, for building urbanism. Like, we were designing a project for a big construction company in 3D with a video games engine. And we're working already with Oculus Rift, like first started working with Oculus Rift. And Antoine called me one day and said, like, oh, I'm gonna do medical studies, and I'm going to create a foundation. And I need you to find me an Oculus Rift, because it was not possible to find one on the market. And we're starting with this idea and to use that for surgery. And
no, that's all. If we want to rehearse for the pitch with
investors,
you need to be super shorter. And why? I mean, when I say why, it's like what is totally passionating. What are you looking for when doing this? It's more about this, like what drives you doing this. In your own personal story, more than this day I met and he called me and blah blah. This is not the same, you know.
I
mean,
but
your story is interesting still.
No,
All right, that's it for me. A good speech, a good pitch. Just sorry. A bit too anxious or too nervous. I don't know which one.
I was worse in different.
At the beginning, I felt like I was like that.
I agree. I also thought it was a good pitch. Is it better now? I thought you were very. I'm not from the med world, so it would be difficult for me to really judge the content of what you're doing. But you sounded very credible, and the fact that you used testimonials, gave the example of the names of doctors you were working with. I thought was good. Then as an investor, because also you want to pitch to investors, I have more questions on the competition. It was quite a crowded slide, the competition, and also on the go-to-market and the price, because when I hear education, I hear, people who don't have budget or people it's difficult to sell to. So I really have a question on what's your go-to-market and what's the kind of price point that you're going to apply.
Okay. Actually, the shooting videos and platform videos, it will be just like, how do you say that in English? Like signing up for the platform and you access the video. And for the simulator, we're not going to ask uni because they don't have money, but we're going to labs because they have money and they will use the simulators as marketing for their prosthesis, actually. And we are actually discussing with one of the labs that is doing prosthesis, knee prosthesis in France. And they say like, instead of paying very expensive 2 days traineeship for our surgeons, we can send them your simulator and they will train and that will be our prosthesis and they're ready to pay quite good money for that. For example, mannequins for training are costing 60,000 euros. So they're like, if you can sell that 40,000, that's fine. So that is, they're gonna pay for you. You need to use it actually.
Great engaging pitch. The video obviously kind of had everyone spellbound. That's very cool.
That was done by the family, so thank you guys.
Okay, well, great. I was just thinking you could have gone into a little more depth on the size of the market.
Yeah.
I don't know how many like medical training facilities there
that's
are. That's
huge.
Yeah, huge, I'm sure. Time to market. And I don't know, you didn't mention if this is like a medical device or not, and then therefore whether it would need FDA approval in the United States or the European equivalent.
Okay, actually, well, my slide with competitive landscape was very difficult because our landscape is training, but there are people that are doing mannequin. There are not people for the moment that are doing the same that we are doing. So it was very difficult to find any competitors. So I put every company that is doing stuff for training surgeon, and
things that surgeons use to train, are those regulated as medical devices?
Yeah. And actually, for example, we started discussion with for when you're actually becoming an active surgeon, you got your certificate, but there is no exam like that proof that you can perform surgery. So we went to a big conference of orthopedic surgery in November, and they say like, we will be very interesting if we can use your app or your simulator to validate someone as a surgeon. But that means that we need really to do something amazing because you cannot bullshit with that. So yeah, clearly they have legal issues. So for the moment, we're just not too sure because that means that we have consequences and responsibilities. So we need something to be really, proud of, and so we're starting. But the surgeons are they expect something like that. When you're talking with a surgeon like 25 years old, 30 years old, like, oh, that's not existing already because they're playing video games, so they expect that too. That's it.
Yeah, I would think if I were an investor, I would be thinking, what's the size of the market, and then what's the time to market? And time to market would be, is this a medically regulated device? And also, what's the current state of the technology? Is it like usable now, or is it still got 3-5 more years of development that it still needs? So but
video platform usable in 1 month, simulator in beta testing in 4 months, I would say, and size of the market. Actually, I didn't think about interventional radiology before coming here in differential medicine. So we actually, in this moment, regarding at all the possibilities, but they are really huge.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Pass on. We say pass on? Pass on. Please give some love to Passan.
Hi everyone, my name is Fabien. I'm going to introduce Passan. Before, I just wanted to thank the family. It's a great opportunity to present. Thank you. To present Passan. Before to start, I want to ask you a question about to think. I will give you 10 seconds to think about your last authentic experience. I'm not talking about your last date on Tinder, but I'm talking about the last time you met someone really who shared his passion and who took some time to share his hobby with you, and you discover something new and really interesting. Okay, so who has an experience to remember? Only a few people? Maybe you didn't understand my good English, but okay, so for some of you it's not that easy to have this kind of experience because it's hard to find currently. And for some of you who shyly raised your hand, I think it's a great experience and a great memory in your mind. So here comes Passan. It's a marketplace in order to connect curious people with passionate people in order to live an authentic experience. So passionate people are everywhere. They create some stuff with their hands. They also invent, they innovate, and also they live their dreams. And we pass by their house, their workshop every day without knowing it, without discovering anything of their secrets. So it was my case also when I traveled during a year across the world. It was hard for me to find that kind of people, but when I realized today, it was the most amazing experience I had with passionate people when they share their story with me. So on one side, we got the passionate. Passionate can be professional, or they can be also private individuals. They can be, for instance, designers, bakers, painters, artists, and they all have in common, they want to share their passion with you. And all about this is to provide you, like in an easy way and safely, a way to enjoy those activities, to discover a moment on that side. It's about a project with people, for people. And we have a really selective process in order to select those passionate people. We want them to have a specific and a really good passion, but we want also for them to be able to share it, because it's not that often. We don't want some nerds who are not able to talk 2 words with someone. Also, with a small audience, only 1 to 6 people for the activity, because we want an authentic activity and something with interaction. It's really important. So now let's go on your side, if you're curious, as I am, sorry. So you will go on the website, and we can suggest you some activities depending on which kind of curious are you. For instance, if you like fashion, if you like do-it-yourself stuff, or if you like art or also sport. Then you can also have a map when you can look for the activities close to you. And what is important also, it's about the budget. We got some free activities in order for everyone to be able to experience this kind of activities, this kind of leisure. And also we got, you can go into 100 euros for an activity when it's really rare, when it's a closed door, for instance, a designer or a stylist. And you will have all the information on the activity with some reviews, videos, photos, and also all the story about the passionate people. One thing I forgot, it's also because we know about the top quality, the profile we selected, it's warranty, like satisfied or refund. So you can go with the closed eyes. So now let's meet the team with Passan. So I'm the CEO. And we got also Nicolas and Charles. They own the company about a web agency, and then help us about all the digital and the IT stuff. We got Sarah. who is a community manager at La Tribune, and she helps us with Passon, and Leah, helping up with the contents and all about the communication. On the market, we got the demand, so we aim the upper class, urban upper class from 25 to 50 years old, who are looking for sharing, authenticity and discoveries. One last word, so you can find all those activities on pass-on.fr. What is good, if you don't have your last present gifts for next week, you can have 10% discount, offer some gift cards and talk about your friends about this wonderful opportunity. And follow us on the social networks. Thank you very much.
Who want to go on Passon? All right. Thank you for your pitch. What's your name?
Fabien.
Fabien. When you arrive on stage, very natural, like very simple. I really get into your story. I really want to follow you. I really liked your kind of, I don't know if it's the right word, your vibe, okay? So I want to hear you, and I felt the kind of storyteller, like calm, quiet, believer. And then, you know, you talk that you've been traveling around the world, that you're passionate about people, that you love to meet people, so I really want to know about it. And then step by step, you know, there is a big difference between your vision, your dream, and the way you've executed the thing. At the end, I felt really like, oh, fuck, another marketplace, like, let's share the things that nobody will share and finally sell something that we don't care about, you know. Like, I see a map with, it really looks like a typical transactional website, whereas you were almost pitching Humans of New York. You remind me of Hugo, who was here in the jury all the time, like enjoying meeting people, sharing the passion and this kind of emotional moments that are super, super fucking rare. And it's that's I was thinking, like, how will they execute this? Because you were pitching something that obviously we all want to experience and live, but in the meantime, like, who can do that? Like, you were pitching something, there are 1,000 startups that are doing different ways. I was thinking of, there is, at the family street, what's the name? Obi Street. Obi Street, two girls, they go to every shops here and they ask the baker or the guy who does the chocolate so that they can do workshops, so actually people can get into their kitchen, the hidden part, and have a special moment with them to learn. You know, or there are other things like a jump, for instance, or this kind of moment that you bump into new people and you have a moment with them. I don't know, but how do you create exceptional moment with people who want to share experience? Because at the end, we are all passionate about something, you know? It's not who is passionate here. It's we all have sometimes a moment where, wow, we have a light, a drive, we are super excited by something. Everybody can be on a certain thing, passionate about something. No?
Well, I think we are all curious. That's true, but only few people have a really one passion. They can teach someone.
They can sell. Because at the end of your pitch, what I understood is that actually people sell their passion, which is, you know, there is you start with a high emotional thing and you end with a fucking transactional moment, product. And I felt something. I felt, you know, you lost me when I saw the execution. So it's like if you, I mean. When you want to do something about creating emotion, you must be a doer. You must be this guy from Mindy. This kind of you must have the hand on the product. You can, or you didn't. Either you haven't designed the product, either you just didn't understand the importance of traducing and creating new things in the design of the product that will make this passion come through. And it's all the little social interaction that you can create through the product that will be key. And when I see this, I just see something that just kill all the things that you were talking about at the beginning. That's what I felt.
So yeah, I wanted like for the curious people who are in the room, in order to show them like what does it look like. I know if you're a specialist of marketplace, it's like some basic stuff here, and
So it's not live.
yeah, it's live.
It's live.
It's live.
So it
there
looks
are
like that.
150 activities right now on the website. But yeah, maybe I should have like put more some stuff. We got some events, or maybe two. Let's say example of two people in order to keep the dream high and not go on the functionalities.
No,
but,
because functionalities should actually support the dream high, and you need to reinvent things like not arriving and looking at, I don't know. It's something I didn't thought.
So yeah, overall, I thought your pitch was very nice. I would have maybe replaced the question at the beginning, which I'm not sure had the effect you wanted, by some kind of wow stories to inspire people. Now I kind of started to think about what I would be curious about, but nothing came to my mind. So yeah. So that. Then I know I really like the idea. It's made me think of I can't remember the name, but a startup I saw in Spain that's based in Spain and that was in the final at Le Web last year, which does the same thing that you do, I think but for tourists, with a tourist angle. So I think that's also an interesting angle. Like you go to a new city, and instead of doing something random, you go and do something very authentic with people who are passionate about it. It's good that you tell us about the KPIs at the end. I think it would have been good also in the pitch to tell us more where you stand. Is it live? Do you already have some people who use it? Things like that. Because now I had the impression, especially from the team slide, that you were the only one actually working on the startup, doing it yourself, and that the other ones were doing it part-time and not really...
Exactly, yeah. Voilà. The part of the team. About the stuff of the other marketplace, yeah, there are many marketplaces for tourist people to live like local stuff, and I started on that way, was Local Touch, and now it's a new company, because I was tired of like, why do you have to be a tourist to live like authentic activities? And the language is easier in order to interact, and it's really important when you talk with people. To be able to understand everything. So let's say like French people, they get bored on the Saturday, and why do you not discover something? And also with all the presents, you don't know how to offer. So it's a great opportunity to give an experience to live and to share and to remember also.
So to me, you seem like a really nice guy, like really interesting kind of concept or passion. That was inspired by some of your own personal experiences, which are real and commendable. But you lost me at the word authentic, and I don't know if that's like a French to English thing. And I see the dilemma that you have, which is that you have to be wide enough in whatever word that you use that captures your idea to be inclusive for all different types of people's passions, but you have to be narrow enough to also kind of be able to tell people what it is that you do. And it wasn't immediately apparent what authentic meant in that sense, because for me, most of the authentic experiences that I've had have been serendipitous experiences, where it's not something that you could pre-plan. And I don't know if this is maybe a difference in what authentic means in French versus English. But in English, at least, authentic to me means it's real. You've stripped it away of kind of any money-making aspect. It's just a complete authentic experience. And then you go on and say that you're talking about selling things, and I just completely, I didn't get it, so.
It's not about we are ashamed of talking money and we cannot be friends and make money together. On Airbnb, you exchange money, but you can still have a good conversation with someone, but you start from the hotel, see what I mean? And you go to a house. Okay, so here you start from a pitch of authenticity, real life experience, moment. Do you remember this moment when you met someone and boom, nobody? You see what I mean? So of course we are like, who I met, who, yeah. And then, yeah, it's 100 euros, you want to do the tour of the city. That's how I felt, you know? So it's this gap he's talking about.
It's about authentic. It's something for me which is true. You meet people, so it's not online or whatever. You meet the guy, and it's not, let's say, industrial. You don't have 1,000 of tourists in order to look at the baker man doing his bread with 100 person. 100 people, you get only a few people from 1 to 5 to 6, and you can share and talk, interact with the guy.
Well, then maybe you can use a word that is a little more acceptable of like a financial transaction, like you know, a real craftsman or a tradesman that kind of sounds a little bit bobo and branché still, but is like, you know, but is also authentic in the sense that you're looking for. So. Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have a question in the crowd? Because I didn't ask you, but do you want to ask something to the pitcher? Fabien. Yes. How do you find the guys who will share it with the passionate
it's
people?
a lot of networking, a lot of researching by walking on the streets and someone who knows someone. Also for the artists, we got some agents of artists who know many artists, and we are going to introduce ourselves like a networking. Yeah. And it's important for us to be recommended as a quality I mentioned before, and also sometimes on internet also. But it's a time to look for them, because we at the first time I took let's say 1,000 of craftsmen or artisan craftsmen maybe. Calling them, and they don't have time. They don't have the workshop in order to welcome people about the safety, the security, and all of this. So it's a long work in order to select them and to ensure that they can offer this activity.
Mm. But check Obi Street, because I think it's not far from what you do. And actually, they specialize in helping the people to manage how to transmit, to talk about their passion. And this is where it's key. It's to be able to talk about their passion. You can, and this question is very important. It's like, who is your network? And that's how she started. Like, tell us some stories, give us some examples. That's the way you will convince the people.
One last thing, there's definitely a tendance now of like people in the millennial generation that we don't want to buy things, we want to have experiences, and that's something that you could have dug a little deeper into at the beginning, just saying, because I've been meeting a lot of travel companies that are kind of going along the same trend, that are wanting to put people in touch with authentic, whatever that means, experiences. So yeah, and that makes sense. Like I buy that part of the pitch at the beginning.
Yeah, it's something important for us, like for instance in the blog contents, and why experiencing an activity better than buying a smartwatch and all of this, and all of this you will remember for a long time.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, give some love to Crisp. Woo-hoo! Last speech.
Hi, everybody here. So I'm Baptiste from Crisp. I'm really happy to be there because we are all a family. Because may I ask you a question? Who is making a startup or building a startup here? Okay, thank you. I'm just asking that because there are more and more startups, and it's more and more complicated to get success. I mean, what you need is getting users and keep your users. And to do that, you need to care about your users. Yeah, because today, caring your users is as important as having a good design, as having a good product. And at the same time, to do that, you need to get feedbacks. Yeah, getting feedbacks is a unique way to have the perfect product, to improve. So at Crisp, we are on a mission. We want to make customer relationship just simple and affordable to everyone. Yeah. So what about us? So I'm Baptiste. I worked at Orange at the CRM. I worked too at IPD. It's a live chat system. And here is my CTO, Valérian. He's a Japix co-founder. He made a great system, an open source system used by General Electric and the CNES. And yeah, he had an article on Le Monde at 16, a great guy. And so how we want to reach our mission? We want to provide a beautiful tool for startups. We want to make a gift for startups to interact with the customers. So what is our product? Crisp is a chatbox system. Anybody here can add Crisp on his website. It's just a line of code. It's easy. So then your customers can chat with you. We made one of the best chatbox on the market. We have anything that you have to talk to a friend on Facebook. We have smileys, file sharing. It's an easy way to interact to your customers. On the other side, we have an app, a Mac app you can use on the web too, to interact with your customers. And both you, your co-founder, or your team can interact with the customers in real time. That means that both me and my co-founder can see the message and reply to the customers. And because we like side projects, we can both manage multiple websites. And because we like chatting with your users, we can chat with someone on our website. I can say, yeah, I want to chat with this guy. So today, we got a lot of upvotes on product hunt. We made an MVP during the last 2 months. We wanted to launch the next year, but a guy posted our product on product hunt, and since last week, we got more than 400 customers. I made this slide yesterday. Now we have 100 customers. And we are translated in 10 languages. So what's next? We'll have mobile apps. So you can, in the future, you could chat with your customers from your mobile, in your pocket. And we'll have plugins to allow you to add custom features to your website. Like, I want to chat with my users from my Slack. I want to add an audio system on my website. Yeah. So that's Crisp. It's already available. You can already add it to your website. It's free. We are in beta. We want just feedback. So just install Crisp on your website, and thank you.
Okay, so customer service and market surveys are similar concepts, but they're different. Which solution are you offering first to businesses?
So can you repeat your question, please, just slower?
Sure. Customer service and market surveys are two similar, but related concepts. So which of those two things are you first?
Customer service. Yeah.
It's customer service.
Yeah, it's to help your customers.
Okay.
When they arrive on the website, there is this little box, hey, talk to me, boom.
Yeah,
we use it for coup d'etat, for instance. We have this box, but there are like tons of very good products.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
So we know there are many products like this on the market.
Yeah.
I worked in a company that made that. We know that there is Intercom, but there is a huge problem.
That's the one we're using.
It's so painful for operators, people who reply to the visitors, to reply to customers. Okay. These products were made by corporate people. These products are made for huge companies.
We use it through Slack, which is easy.
And yeah, there are systems like Slack, but
Non, Slack integration with Intercom. Je sais plus si là, faudra checker avec Joris. Je sais pas s'il est là, mais anyway, I know that there is a Slack.
so, but the idea is to have just a simple system, and we thought, yeah, there are many already products on the market, so we thought about our product market fit, and now we are getting more and more visitors, customers. We got traction. There are people.
So yeah, how do you explain? You think because all these little problems that there are on the competitor side are solutioned by the products, basically. That's how you explain the
Sorry, Alice, I don't understand what you mean.
French talk to French in English. I mean, like, how do you explain the success? Because it's this kind of list of little teeny.
Okay, I understand. I will tell you a story. I got just 2 days ago a call from a company in the south of the French, and he called me and he just said me, "Thank you, thank you," because I was using Zopim, another solution, and it was just painful for my employees every day. Imagine people replying to customers just every day and using crappy software. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's not
So
cool.
we thought for these employees to get a simple system, a
And
cool
the
software.
best of your competitor is Intercom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you do better than Intercom? You don't
Intercom
make it
is
compulsory to go
a
to
complex solution and a bit expensive too.
You're free.
We are free, yeah. We have plugins, paid plugins to have more features, but to keep the software simple.
What are the plugins providing?
Audio, Zendesk, Salesforce,
Okay.
something with business value for customers who have money.
Cool.
Just a note, when you say customer feedback, at least in English, I start thinking of like the customer feedback loop, which is more of a market survey term. So I didn't know if the purpose of your product was to be interviewing customers to make future product changes, which
It's
I'm
to
sure.
start the conversation.
You know,
Yeah. it's to start
how we made Crisp is by using Crisp. That's it. So we started to make the product. We put our chat box on our website, and
What was your website?
Crisp.im.
But it was doing what?
Sorry?
Crisp was doing Crisp.
Yeah?
Okay,
And
I get it.
our users told us, yeah, it's cool, but I need that. I think that your chatbox system is really cool, great design, but I want this. That's all. And that's how we made a cool software for many people.
What do
It's
you
by
want
getting feedback.
Okay, what do you want the people to do this with this now? I mean, where are you?
Sorry.
So, what are the next step for you, man?
So what's next?
Yeah.
That you mean? Okay. We need more users. So we have many users. We are getting more and more users. And in the future, we want to make something great, our gift for startups. The software that they use every day.
Super cool. Thank you very much.
What can I add? What? Sorry, Alexia. I'm very bad with the micro. No, it took me a bit of time to understand exactly what you do because you use the word feedback, which in my head means something completely different. So when you put just 1 or 2 words on a slide, it's important really to choose it very well, especially for the Anglo-Saxon audience. Otherwise, I really like the pitch. I really like the kind of passion you managed to show for a product which is not that glamorous customer service, a plugin. So that was like the word mission, the word gift. That was good. Then, as an investor, I believe in the market opportunity. I know it's a very competitive space, so for me, it would be important to really understand the differentiation with the competitors in terms of the design and also in terms of the maybe technical complexity. How many people do you have in your tech team? How difficult is it to build what you are building?
Okay. One more thing. We made Peter Thiel teams about CRISP, and we will again meet them in January. So you're going to follow the program? Yeah. How old are you? 21, and my co-founder is 22.
This is cool. All right, thank you very much. C'est bien, c'est bien, c'est bien. Attends, reste là.
Ok. Non.
Tous les pictures, all the pictures on stage, all the pictures on stage. So, you loved especially one pitch more than the others. But you have to give some love to everyone, but save your maximum love for one special person. Epiderm, 1, 2, 3. Boutwik, 1, 2, 3. Passon, 1, 2, 3. Il a ramené sa team. Attends, ok. Crisp, 1, 2, 3. Comment tu dis déjà? EveryVR, 1, 2, 3. Alors, ça se joue entre toi et EveryVR, je pense, hein, si je dis pas de bêtises, à peu près. Ah oui, merde, entre personnes, excuse-moi, oh là là. Bon, c'est pas comme si, hein. Alors, vous devez choisir, tout le monde choisit entre l'un ou l'autre, ok? À la clé, c'est l'incorporation. Vous n'êtes pas déjà immatriculé? Ok, cool. Cool. C'est un bon cadeau. All right, donc 1, 2, 3, personne. Ok. 1, 2, 3, EveryVR. Et c'est une victoire des meufs, une fois de plus. Bravo. Merci à vous.